Hello, everybody. Please enjoy that short intro video while other people still come on board. I'll talk to you really soon. Hello all, this is Dr. Arena Kay. Welcome to today's presentation, How to Ace Your Sales Calls and See Your Closing Rate Skyrocket. It is great to have you here. And because I don't want to waste your time, I don't want to go into a lengthy preamble like other webinars where folks talk endlessly about themselves or generalities. So I'll let you know about me in a little bit, but I'd like to make sure that you know that you are at the right place here. So let's start with who this presentation is for. This is for you if you ever feel uncomfortable or even sleazy about making an offer. You want more clients, but you totally hate selling. You want an easy to follow outline that got results for hundreds of people and will get results for you too. This is also for you if you want to build a team, but you're not sure how to be a good or effective boss. Now, why? What has one to do with the other? Well, because being a leader means selling your idea of what you want people to do, so everybody is enthusiastically on the same page. It's basically another little sales conversation, right? Okay. In the short time we're together here, this is what we're going to cover. We'll talk about the 5 steps you need to get a high closing rate without taking courses in marketing, public speaking, or NLP. Recognize what your prospects really need, even if they don't know it yet. You know how to establish yourself as an authority, even if you don't have decades of experience. And you know how to communicate effectively without being pushy. And you'll actually look forward to sales calls, even if you hated them before. In the end, you'll know how to achieve success by cultivating a millionaire's mindset. Okay, now here's my promise to you. In this training, I am giving you a step-by-step strategy to break through any kind of blocks so you will ace your sales calls. And I know that sounds pretty crazy, but I know from personal experience and that of my clients, it works. I'll give you as much as I can in the short time we're together, but I also promise at the end, I'll show you how you can turn today's immediately useful information into a lasting transformation with additional training or tools and support. So I just want to know you understand. While I can give you the recipe for success, it is you who have to put in the effort. If you're consistent, if you're committed to your success, it will happen. And if you want to accelerate your results, I can let you know about that as well. Also, be sure to stay to the end of the presentation because I will give you an extra tip A little known secret about what to absolutely avoid, what definitely not to do during a sales conversation. And I'd say that about 95% of people get that wrong, like I did too. Okay. Plus, I'll share a simple tool so you can get the right clients for you. Okay. Now, before we get to the 5 steps, let me just quickly check in with you and see where you're at. Does this sound like you? Do you worry that you come across as salesy? Do you feel uncomfortable asking for money for stuff that comes easy to you? Do you want to avoid being seen as taking advantage of people? Are you afraid of getting rejected? Do you sometimes think you don't have what it takes, or that your services are not good enough, that someone else surely is better, or that you don't know enough yet to make an offer, that you still have to work on it before it's perfect enough, before it's good enough, before you have the ability to go out there confidently and say, this is what I can offer to you and it will help. If any of this sounds like you, I have good news. This is not the real problem. The real problem is that you have not made the shifts yet. Shifts? What shifts? Yes, you will see there are 5 mindset shifts involved with the 5 steps. Once you make them, you'll know how to prepare for sales calls. You'll know how to deal with surprises and objections during the calls. You'll be relaxed and confident offering your product or services, and you enjoy honing your skills. You actually look forward to these calls because you can really serve people. Worry about not being good enough will be a thing of the past, and you will establish yourself as an authority. You'll be a sought-after speaker. And from there, it'll only get better and better. Soon you'll need to scale your business, and you'll know how. And not only will you have a millionaire's mindset, you'll have the bank account to reflect that. Okay, so let me just take a moment now and introduce myself so you know who I am and why I can tell you about how to ace your sales calls. Like I said, my name is Dr. Arina Kay. I'm a retired physician, and I'm now getting hired as executive and relationship coach. In my capacity as an OBGYN, I have helped thousands of women with their most intimate issues. I really learned how to diagnose and talk to people. But after moving to the US for my husband's career, I became a stay-at-home mom for our 5 children because I didn't want to have to go through residencies and internships and all these crazy 90-hour work weeks and have someone else raise my children. But to increase their self-confidence because of the transition, which wasn't easy for them, I enrolled them in a karate school and soon after signed up myself. After 2.5 years, I became a black belt and finally an MMA instructor, where I learned how to teach effectively both children and adults, male and female. And about 5 years ago, I decided to become a certified coach, combining my experience as a physician with that of the teacher. Because you see, basically, coaching is what I have done for decades. As a doctor, you are presented every day with a person who comes to you with a problem, right? Your expertise helps them solve it. So you coach them through your solution, explaining and teaching at the same time, which is very similar to coaching. And yes, in coaching, you may not give as much advice. You don't write prescriptions and stuff and tell them exactly what to do, but you ask pertinent questions. And much like a doctor, you need to get to a diagnosis. And this diagnosis element becomes actually very important in step 3 of my system, as you will see shortly. On the business side, I also helped my husband in his manufacturing business, mostly with proofreading and editing copy for the website and putting stuff up there and so on. But in the last few years, I also helped with mindset support. And it turns out that last one, the mindset support, was the most important aspect of all. Okay, now we come to these 5 steps and the mindset shifts associated with them. And I want to let you know how that kind of crystallized for me. I noticed that I was most successful in my profession, my coaching, and my personal growth when I followed a pattern. And my experience as a physician helped tremendously, of course. And so did my work otherwise that I was doing, like dabbling in energy work, but I'd also learned about EFT, NLP, law of attraction, memory consolidation, and voice dialogue, as well as an extensive research into neuroscience. Now, if you went, what? And that stuff and these abbreviations meant absolutely nothing to you, don't worry. You don't need to study for years because I can make it simple for you. You don't need a doctorate. You don't need to know these three-letter techniques either, or be knowledgeable in neuroscience. Now, but if you have an experience in anything that your clients do not, you will be their expert. You are the guru. You are the one they come to for help. And like I mentioned, since I started coaching, I supported my husband with mindset fortification. And you may think, mindset woo-woo in manufacturing? Yes, indeed. A study of the Carnegie Institute of Technology showed that 85% of financial success is based on mindset. And Tony Robbins says that 80% of success is mindset and only 20% is skill set. Naturally, my husband was skeptical because he's a very practical strategist and a hardcore alpha male. But when I explained the neuroscience behind the woo and he started seeing it work, he totally made a 180-degree shift. After years of just getting by in the manufacturing business, the sales increased from 2.8 million in 2015 to 7.2 million in 2018, and profits went from $250,000 to $900,000. Now, I don't want to go into a lecture about consciousness and the conscious and subconscious mind, so let me just tell you this much. For any sales conversation, you'll need to wear a few different hats. What I mean by that is you'll bring forth different parts of yourself, parts that have different jobs to do and need a different mindset. And I'll let you know about the part stuff in a little bit. But now let's look at those 5 steps and the mindset shifts that go with them. The first step is setting the right intention. The point is not to sell, but to serve. And you want to get compensated accordingly. Your product or services for cash. Do you cringe now? Does it sound harsh? But if you think about it, you wouldn't worry twice about handing over cash to buy a loaf of bread or some cheese and meat. And the girl at the register provides a service and you naturally assume she's getting paid for that. So why not you? After all, for a fair exchange to happen, both sides need to be satisfied. In other words, you'll have to have the intention to serve both you and your prospect, not just the client, but you as well. You need to have the mindset of the benefactor. The benefactor never worries about not giving enough or not being good enough. Now, what does that mean for you during the sales conversation? Guess what? Anything is better than nothing for them. You are actually doing the prospect a favor by giving them your time, your attention, and by presenting them with a solution. It's like, the guy that shows the horse the water. You can't make the horse drink. You can only show them, and that's basically what you're doing. And if you have experience in anything that your clients do not, and you know a little bit more than they do, they can ask you and you can give them a solution. You are the expert. The second step is to establish a connection with your prospect. Focus 100% of your attention to what this person is telling you. And did you know that one of the top complaints that people have is that nobody ever really listens to them? So be the one who listens with compassion and curiosity. And in order to really listen, you must be able to respond to the different ways someone expresses his or herself. Some people visualize very well and respond to having a picture painted, while others need to take notes, or they need to hear again and repeat, and you need to repeat what you have said because this is their way of processing information. Now be aware here, this is the time when you establish trust. I give you an example. A friend of mine, a copywriter and tech stuff coach, was looking for a new mentor. She already had established herself well in her business, but wanted support for scaling. So the first person she talked to just started singing her own praises and laid out the whole system of what they would do together. Stuff like doing Facebook ads, crafting awesome emails, getting a Facebook group together, and a program, stuff she already had. And hello, a copywriter, you don't need to tell them how to write emails. So this was completely out the window. In other words, this person did totally not listen to my friend, and of course didn't get the job. So in the second step, you want to shift your mindset to that of a great, compassionate listener. In the third step, you will make a diagnosis like a doctor. You need to assume the role of the analyst. Find out what exactly is the issue. Your prospect might tell you what they want, but when you analyze the situation, you'll find out what they actually need. And it's similar to the detective work a doctor does when somebody presents with symptoms. What is the cause of the symptoms? And based on that cause, what is the solution? What is the remedy? Dig deep. And look, even for something obvious, let's say from the medical field, a cut that needs stitches, there's always something to analyze. Where does the cut come from? Was it an accident inflicted by someone? What made the cut? Could it be infected? When was the last tetanus shot? So you see, before you rush in with the solution, analyze. Start with a 30,000-foot overview of the problem and then get down further, get closer. What could be beneath that? Uncover layer by layer by layer until you have your client stand in front of the mirror. This is where you'll find the root cause. And even now, there is another step before you present your offer. In step 4, you must make the decision whether the prospect is actually an ideal client or a good fit. And that cuts both ways. And here is when the arbiter comes in. Are you a good fit for the client? Is yours the ideal solution? If not, you'll end up with a disgruntled client and your reputation will suffer. But even more importantly, assuming the prospect sought you out for what you have to offer, is the prospect an ideal client for you? Look, about 10 to 15 years ago, my husband was asked about taking on a consulting position. And the company who was hiring was looking to expand their UK business to France and Germany. My husband, formerly the CEO of a $600 million global manufacturing company, rushed in with his vision of global expansion. Why think so small, he told them. Needless to say, he didn't get the gig. Right? So put on the arbiter hat and judge wisely. You don't want to have to deal with somebody who drags you down as an energy vampire or disgruntled customer or a general pain in the butt. And now we're getting to the final step. You make the offer. Here, you need to draw on your expert mentor part. So you have established you can actually help that person. You're a fit for them and they're a fit for you. Now assume the role of a mentor. Ask them, what would happen if they don't take you up on the offer? How would they suffer? Will it cost them time? Will it cost them money? What might they lose without your expertise? Lay this all out in a way that's authentic. You know you can help. You are the expert. Life will be easier for them. Let them know that. Make it clear. There's no time like now. Don't wait, don't procrastinate, get help now, and everything will fall into place and get easier for you. Be the mentor. Look, I don't know what you're selling, so I can't tell you exactly what to say. But when you assume the role of the mentor, you're coming from a perspective of service. Now, I'm guessing you have been mentored before, you probably should have, because then you know how much a good mentor can help. And if not, it's a little bit harder to sell and expect yourself to be able to walk the talk, because you can only be convincing if you are 100% convinced yourself. So today I promised I'd give you the whole 5-step framework you need to get a high closing rate without taking courses in marketing, public speaking, or NLP. You'll recognize what your prospects really need, even if they don't know yet. You'll know how to establish yourself as an authority, even you don't have decades of experience. You know how to communicate effectively without being pushy. And you'll actually look forward to sales calls even if you hated them before. You will now have a step-by-step strategy to break through any kind of blocks, so you will ace your sales calls. And you know how you can achieve success by cultivating a millionaire's mindset. So about parts. Blam! Remember, I promised to tell you more about parts? Now, without going into advanced neuroscience, I can tell you that the human brain is a highly complex organ with only one job: to have you survive in the best way possible. In order to do so, it uses its genetic makeup and all the experiences you've had. The brain formulates beliefs based on those experiences and allocates these beliefs to different parts. You may also call them subpersonalities, but you know what I mean is when you're saying you're shifting from one part to another based on what you have to do at the time. For example, you will definitely behave differently when you're with your parents than when you're going out with friends, or when you're sitting in a business meeting. Anytime you shift what you're doing, your brain will allocate a different part of you to come forward and do its job. So what you need to do to ace your sales call is the blam. Access and bring forth the parts of the benefactor, the listener, the analyst, the arbiter, and the mentor. Now, if you feel you struggle with any of those mindset shifts, you may have mental blocks around them. These blocks don't make you a loser. They don't make you weak. They don't make you a failure. You can actually do something about it. Well, if you simply don't know how to access these parts of the benefactor, the listener, the analyst, the arbiter, and the mentor, there is where I can help. So you now have a choice. You can either take the info I gave you and forget about it and become one of the statistics that languish feeling stuck in the business until you might give up like 80% of the coaches. Or you can continue to be stressed out, feeling like a failure until your financial health and maybe your own is severely compromised. But if you want to turn this ship around and become a successful entrepreneur, if you want to get to work, energized to tackle the day, looking forward to speaking to new prospects, if you want to feel like you're really making a difference in people's lives, then I have something for you. Apart from my gift, the sales call checklist, I offer a complimentary breakthrough session for all of you ladies here on the Women Helping Women Stand Out Network. So if you want to book a call with me, just go to ultimatesuccessmindset.com/apply, which takes you to my calendar. Grab whichever time and day works best for you and click on that. After that, you'll be taken to a short application form. Fill it in quickly and you are set to spend the best hour ever to ace your sales conversations and more. So please just go to ultimatesuccessmindset.com/apply and I'll speak to you very soon. Ladies, it has been amazing to share this information here with you today. But before we sign off, for those who stay to the end, let me give you the 2 bonus tips I promised. First, what you absolutely must avoid doing. Do not coach people on your strategy session or breakthrough call or sales conversation. You will give them a Band-Aid for a wound that maybe needs stitches or more. They think they got it and then may blame you when they don't get the results. What you need to do, however, is get a decision. Don't let them go without it. You'd rather have a no than a maybe I need to think about it or any other wishy-washy excuse. Now, of course, if you think there is a legitimate reason, then book a follow-up call right then and there. And the little tool I mentioned, pre-qualify your prospects with an application form, just like I'm doing. This way, you can do research on them and find out and to know more about them and find out how you can best serve them on your call. I use a form or an application form software, I don't know, called Wufoo, WUFOO. So, amazing women entrepreneurs, it has been so great being with you today. And again, go to ultimatesuccessmindset.com www.salesy.com/apply to sign up for your free breakthrough session. And I'll speak to you very soon. Ciao. Oh, and before I forget, this is Claudine Wolk, author and radio show host. She's very pretty, right? So I wanted to have her in here because this is what she said about her complimentary breakthrough session. Hi, Dr. Irina. I would like to pay you for the hour we spent together because it was so helpful to me. If you will allow me to pay for my session, please send along your address and I will mail payment. The session was far too valuable to me to be free. And she actually did send a check in the mail. So just saying, grab yours now. And until then, I'll see you soon. Ciao, ciao.